signorina. And you, signor? Grazie.
Let's get tidied up and go right out, Daddy. I'm dying to see everything.
Whatever you say, my dear.
The elevator, she is here.
Thank you. Now, where should we go first?
Roman for her?
All right, we'll go exactly where you like. I want this to be the happiest holiday you've ever had.
This exciting, Daddy.
Yes, it is, my dear. I can remember how excited I was when I first came to Rome.
Your room is number 16, signorina, first to the right. I'll bring your luggage up in a moment.
Thank you. What number are you, Daddy?
47.
I'll come and fetch you, just in case you get daydreaming about your old ultrasonic.
Hi, 6 days.
I'm sorry. My mistake. I'll ask at the desk.
I do not understand you, signorina. Your father, you say?
Why, yes, you remember. We just checked in, Professor Curtis. But you took us up in the elevator. You must remember.
I remember taking up the so charming signorina, yes, but alone, quite alone.
You must be... You're talking nonsense. The book. Show me the registration book at once.
Certainly, signorina, if you wish.
Both sides. Wait. See, here's my name. My father signed here. Carlo Petacci.
You see, signorina? The journey, perhaps? Maybe the signorina is a little upset, no? Hysterical? Perhaps a doctor.
But I've been to the police and they think I'm crazy. There isn't any proof my father ever arrived at the pension. And they all swear I was alone.
I understand your illustrious and respected parent is at present working on a highly secret project in ultrasonics?
Oh, yes, something to do with the government. But you will help me, won't you, Mr. Chan? Daddy told me what a wonderful detective you were and how you helped him once before. Please, Mr. Chan.
Believe me, I will do my humble best.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Chan, the taxi driver. If we could find the taxi that brought us from the station.
Unfortunately, taxicabs in Rome are more numerous than bees in a hive. And if taxicab driver were found, he could merely state that your famous father arrived at the gritty hotel, or pension, as you call it. I accept this fact.
Oh, then you do believe me, Mr. Chan.
Old saying. Fair exchange, no robbery. Now, you and I will exchange hotel rooms. Horse and carriage waiting outside. Suggest you enter same, go directly to my hotel where you are expected.
They tried to get me to give up my key. I wouldn't. Here it is, Mr. Chan.
Oh, excellent. Now, please go, my dear.
They wouldn't hurt Daddy, would they?
I can safely say famous authority on ultrasonics. Much more valuable alive and unhurt than in any other condition. Now, please go.
Signor, if it's a room, I fear we are quite full up.
Humble self most fortunate in already possessing room. Would now like to sign register.
I don't think...
Not necessary to think. I assure you arrangement between Miss Curtis and myself most legal and binding. Or perhaps you would like to call police? I observe you do not. I'm now happy to sign register. Are you aware Page has been torn out from registration book? Most illegal procedure.
You must be mistaken, senor.
Not mistaken, and you may call me Inspector Chan.
Inspector Charlie Chan?
The same. Now, one question, please. Were you on duty when Miss Curtis checked in?
No. On my life, senor, no.
Further inquiry. Who was on duty?
It was Victor Gasperi.
Where is that person at this moment?
I don't know. By all the saints, senor, I swear I don't know.
In my country, old saying, bigger the oath, greater the lie. Might also suggest that I enjoy the friendship of Inspector Galvani of Rome Police Headquarters.
No, senor, please, not the police. I've not a good record. Comprende?
I comprehend only my wish to know where is Mr. Gasperi.
I tell you, senor, but please, he would kill me if he knew. You do not say that it was I.
Where is Victor Gasperi?
14 Via dell'Angeli.
Thank you. Please have my bag taken to room 16. I shall return.
My husband, he is not here. You look if you like to, but you no find him.
But I am most anxious to see your husband, Mrs. Gasperi. Perhaps you could tell me where he has gone.
Why you ask so many questions? Who are you?
Inspector Chan, formerly of Honolulu Police.
Boris. I knew it. Please, what has he done?
I do not know exactly, that is not yet. But famous scientist has disappeared, and I fear your husband is involved.
Do you?
Your accent is not of this country. That is not of Italy.
I'm Polish. I left my country and my family to marry Vittorio.
I see. Oh. Very beautiful new television set. Costing much money, I think. Also new, but not so expensive. But maybe at the price of a man's whole life and happiness.
I never had so beautiful a coat. Never before. Oh, I was so happy when Vittorio brought it to me and the big televisione. But I do not wish that we should have these things wrongly, senor. And I felt there was something, and I was so afraid for Vittorio.
I am under the impression your husband is operating with very evil people.
I know so little, senor. Just one small thing I found.
Yes?
Would you help my husband? Make it less bad for him?
I would do all I could. However, unfortunately, Mrs. Gasperi cannot promise miracles.
I tell you.
You tell him what, you? Who are you? What do you do in my house?
Name is Charlie Chan, former inspector of Honolulu Police. You, I believe, are Victor Gasperi.
Police? Me, I do not like police. They make a sick feeling in my guts and my hand itch like this.
Vittorio! He's dead. You've killed him. Vittorio!
Your husband, Mrs. Gasperi, is not even nearly dead. Only slight judo clip. He will awaken later, perhaps with a headache.
Then please go. Before he wakes up. I want no more fight here. Please go. I tell you, I meet you, I promise. At the forum, near the column of the arm at 5 o'clock. My husband will be at his work then, please.
Very excellent idea. I shall be there. Oh, would also suggest massage. Good for a husband's neck.
There were no fingerprints. It was to be expected. He used gloves, of course.
Have you checked on husband's alibi?
It seems that our friend, Signor Gaspari, was on duty behind the reception desk at the Pensione Gritti from 7 o'clock until midnight. This is vouched for by several persons who mentioned the curious fact that he seemed to suffer from a slight stiffness of the neck.
Highly possible. What about man who attacked me in Florence?
His name is Guido Caccio, a thug from the lowest quarter in Rome. He has been questioned closely. We have our ways, you understand. Yet he sticks to his story.
I see. Inspector, I would like to hear that story.
He swears by all the saints that he was drinking in his usual home, the Trattoria Medici, a real, how you say, dive, when he was approached by what he calls a great gentleman, who offered him 5,000 lire to beat up a man he would find in the Forum around 5 o'clock.
Poor, foolish Mrs. Gaspari.
I do not understand, Charlie.
Mrs. Gaspari. She must have told her husband, threatened him with what she was going to do to save him from himself.
But he is innocent. His alibi?
True. He did not hold knife. But innocent, no, Inspector.
But if he was not there?
He told someone what her plan was. Warned them of what she was going to do. So the unfortunate Mrs. Gaspari, who only wanted to save her little home, is dead.
I will have him picked up right away. And believe me, he will talk.
No, not yet, please, my friend.
But this someone, Gaspari knows who he is.
When you are hunting tiger, it is not wise to bring down a jackal, because this might warn larger beasts to seek safety in the jungle.
If you say so, Charlie.
Now, this great gentleman, did man who attacked me in the Forum describe him?
Tall, brown eyes, blonde beard. In 5 minutes, you take off the beard, and what have you?
Yes. Still, if we bring Gaspari in now, we may never find Professor Curtis.
He's probably dead by now anyway.
I must point out, Professor Curtis was world authority in a highly special branch of ultrasonic science.
So?
I have strong belief the unique brain of missing professor is needed elsewhere.
Behind the curtain.
Highly possible. So you see, chances are he is still alive. Also that he must be taken out of Italy at earliest moment. Now, Inspector, did you trace address of telephone number I found on Mrs. Gaspari's body?
I will find out right away. Betty? Inspectore Galvani. The telephone number, you have traced it? What? Yes. Good, thank you. The address is the Fangio Private Hospital. It is a place for mad persons on Via Appia.
Well, let us go there quickly.
My car is outside.
Signori?
I am Inspector Galvani, Rome Police. This is Inspector Charlie Chang.
Police? But what could you possibly want here?
The answers to a few questions, Signorina, that is all.
I'd better fetch someone in authority. I am only here at the desk to receive people.
You receive patients also?
But of course.
Then you will do, Signorina. Sit if you please. Charlie, have you the photograph of the person we seek?
Yes, Inspector. Fortunately, Miss Janet had this in her possession.
Thank you, Charlie. Have you seen this man before?
Why, yes, I have seen him.
Go on.
He is a patient of Dr. Pacelli, an Englishman. He was brought here in an ambulance. His name? I have it here. Mr. John Robertson. At first he was very quiet, sleeping. And then, oh, so violent, so wild. It took 2 of our men to hold him. But of course, Dr. Pacelli, he gave him injection. You know, to quiet him.
Please, is Dr. Pacelli well known in this place?
Oh, no, never before has he brought a patient here. But you understand, this home is quiet and exclusive. And very expensive. If a patient can pay, then he is admitted. And Dr. Pacelli, he paid in advance for this, Mr. Robertson.
Of course. Now, please. Would you describe Dr. Pacelli?
I did not notice so much. Tall, quiet voice. Oh, yes, the beard blonde.
I see. Now, please, would you take us to Dr. Pacelli's patient, Mr. John Robertson.
Oh, but I
have the authority to compel you to do so.
But I cannot, for a very good reason. This Mr. Robertson, he is dead.
And please, may I ask, where is Buddy now?
On my life, I do not know, Signore. Here we are concerned with the living, to help them, to try to cure them. But when they die, this is the concern of others.
Thank you. Let us go, my friend.
It must be found. Without the body of Professor Curtis, this Pacelli, if that is his name, what can we prove against him?
Tell me, Inspector, what was the result of your inquiries around mortuaries and funeral parlors?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Of course, if they have buried him in some woods outside Rome, it may be weeks.
Would it be possible for me to see those reports?
Of course. Here, Charlie, I have them.
One confusing point.
Yes?
I note body of Gaspari lady was removed from police mortuary to funeral parlor. Why?
Her husband insisted. He had the right.
Hermosa Funeral Parlor, Marconi Street. Very exclusive section.
Indeed, yes.
And also very expensive, hmm?
Typical. They live in poverty and squalor. But when they die, all must be of the best. Charlie, the daughter, she must be told.
No, not yet, Inspector. First must find body of eminent father.
Ah, I have seen that look before. The gray cells of the brain, they are working hard, huh?
Inspector, it seems now I am coming suddenly through tunnel which was dark and is now light. Would like you to meet me and Miss Jane Curtis at her hotel.
Of course.
In 1 hour.
See, I remember her. The crazy English girl. She arrived alone and then swore her father was with her.
Mr. Chan, he's telling lies.
You entered hotel, came to desk, and signed registration book, did you not?
Yes, then that man gave us our keys and took our luggage to the elevator.
I see. Now, would you please repeat that action?
I have no time to play childish games, senor. I have work to do.
Please forgive me, I have forgotten polite formality of introducing honored friend who was waiting. Inspector?
Charlie,
Inspector Galvani of Rome Police Headquarters.
I have heard Senor Chang's questions. Kindly do as he requests.
Very well, I took the luggage up to the elevator and...
We went up to the first floor.
Kindly do so.
I asked Daddy what number his room was. He said room 47. Then he stopped. I got out and went to my room and... Wait. A man got in as I went out of the elevator.
Oh, would you please describe it?
Tall, distinguished, blonde beard.
Could you perhaps remember his name?
Mr. Castelli, room 47. He checked out this morning.
Please take us to room 47.
You see, like I say, the room is empty.
John Robertson. Campiano, 11:30.
The airport. 11:30. 1 hour from now. I will have the place surrounded.
Are you aware so-called Dr. Pacelli killed your wife?
Lies. Why, he makes for her the most beautiful funeral.
When?
Today. Plumed horses, many motor cars, flowers, and my poor little Roxanne dressed in a white satin gown.
Would probably have appreciated gown much more was she alive. Where's funeral?
The funeral procession will go to the airport. From there, they will take her to her home in Poland.
Charlie, the airport.
Yes, but airplane does not leave for 1 hour. Much more important to go to funeral parlor. Would also like Mr. Victor to accompany us.
See.
Arturo, remember, quietly and with dignity.
Si, senor.
1, 2, 3.
Where do you take my wife's casket? There's not yet time for the funeral.
I beg you. Do you realize where you are, bursting in like this? It's outrageous.
The horses, the flowers, the motor cars. All are ordered for 12 o'clock. Why you take the casket away now?
We have our orders.
May I ask from whom?
Dr. Pacendi.
Ask him to open casket.
Open the casket.
Open the casket. What an idea. Never in all my life.
Do as he says. Pronto.
Very well. Arturo, the flowers.
No, no, Daddy.
Madre mia.
He is not dead, my child. He's warm and breathing. However, heavily drugged, must be taken immediately to a hospital.
I think not, Mr. Interfering Chap. Get it outside and into the house. Go on.
You killed her. You killed Roxanne.
Booth is now on the other foot, Dr. Pacelli. Inspector, your prisoner. Also, ambulance as soon as possible.
Now, what will happen to the man with the beard?
He will be tried for 2 murders, that of Victor Gaspry and his unfortunate wife.
Yes, but what did he want to murder her for?
She knew too much, but mainly to provide a body which could be taken out of the country openly.
But I don't understand.
It was the only way to get your father out of the country. Since you are an English subject, the immigration authorities would have become very suspicious if you were being sent behind the Iron Curtain instead of to England.
So I had to travel in a casket. Pretty grim.
Yes, and a casket with duly authorized papers stating that the body was that of a Polish girl being returned behind the Iron Curtain for burial.
Then on arrival, I suppose they bring me out of my coma and...
Yes, and tortured until you reveal the secrets of ultrasonics.
We're so grateful to you, Mr. Chan.
I've been amply repaid, believe me, and also highly honored to be able to assist brilliant scientists to continue his work for freedom and happiness in the world. Oh, I'm afraid it's getting late. I must pack quickly. I shall see you both on the train for London.